my channel. If you're new here, I'm Priyanka. I create content around makeup, mostly luxury makeup. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the best makeup that I have tried in 2021. Honestly, 2021 has been such a great year for makeup. Personally, I feel that there were some really good makeup releases, some iconic products that have become iconic within a year, is what I feel. And personally for me as well, I have been able to get my hands on some really good makeup, and I have had the luxury of trying these out, and I've fallen in love with so many products. So I just wanted to share with you guys some of my favorites of 2021. I feel like these have been my best buys and I've loved them. Some of them released in 2021, but some have been in the market for a while, but I got my hands on them in 2021, so I wanted to talk to you guys about them as well. So and most of these products that I'm going to be talking about are featured in most of my videos that I have posted so far. Obviously, I'm not going to talk to you guys about products that I have not featured on my channel yet, so that you guys have a reference. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys what I have loved this year. So yeah, let's just get started. Foundation I have loved this year, I hope this doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of you, because I have spoken about this so much on my channel right now. It is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop a Blurring Skin Tint Foundation. I for one was very skeptical about buying this because I felt like it was expensive for a skin tint because it's not a full coverage foundation. But then I saw the reviews and I just had to get it, and it was the best thing that I ever did, because you guys know that since 2020, I think this has been my vibe, where I have been trying to move away from full coverage foundations. I know I do film videos with full coverage foundations whenever I do like a full glam makeup look, but this has been my go-to. Like when I have to actually wear makeup and go out, this is what I do, this is what I use. And I like very sheer foundations and foundations that have a bit of a runny consistency, and this is just the perfect example of that. And literally what it says, it is literally what it says. It's a blurring skin tint, and it just tints your skin just the right amount, and it looks so flawless, and I love it. And I think Fenty has done such a fabulous job, even with the shades, even with the way that you can match your shades with your Fenty Beauty foundations that you already have. And I initially wanted to get this in the shade 16, and then when I looked up on her stories, it says that I could be like a 15 to 18, and the 16 was not in stock, so I bought the 18, and this is such a great match for me. Absolutely love it. I bought this through Nashwa Beauty, but I think the best thing that happened this year was the fact that Fenty started shipping to India. So you can just go to fentybeauty.com and just shop from there and get them shipped to India. Of course, you have to pay customs, but earlier I used to be so disappointed because Fenty Beauty would not retail on Cult Beauty. And you couldn't buy it anywhere else. The only way you could get your hands on it was through Instagram pages, or ask someone to send it to you if they were in US or Europe or anywhere. But so elated when I found out that Fenty Beauty has started shipping to India. Absolutely love that. It was the best news ever. So you could just go onto their site and buy products when they're on sale, and I think once they come in and you pay customs, you'd probably pay the actual price of the product. So yeah, that's the first foundation that I have absolutely loved in 2021. I would definitely recommend it 100%. Just if you love a sheer coverage foundation, this is something that you should go for. And for shade reference, I'm in the number 18. So yeah, the next foundation that I want to talk about is probably the most luxurious makeup product I've ever used, the most luxurious foundation that I've ever used, but the most luxurious makeup I've ever used, or the most luxurious brand actually that I've ever used. This is the PatmcGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation, and this absolutely looks like a perfume bottle. Tell me it doesn't. I love the black and gold detailing. It is so luxurious, but again, it is one of the best foundations that I've ever used. This is what the inner packaging looks like. So gorgeous. It's got a very nice frost glass packaging, and it comes with a nice pump, and yeah, definitely looks like a perfume bottle. Now this foundation is so unique in the sense that it is such a runny consistency foundation. It's literally like water. It would just like if you put it on your hand, it would just fall off. But it is so full coverage. I have never used something like this. Every time I use a runny consistency foundation, it's either been sheer or, you know, very light coverage. Like the Face and Body foundation from MAC or the Face and Body foundation from Dior. But this one, it's so lightweight and so watery in consistency, but so full coverage. I was just so shocked, and I think that's what makes it so easy to use. So if you want to do like a full glam makeup look but you find it difficult to work with like a thick foundation, this is your go-to, and I absolutely love it. And it's so easy to use, and it just holds your look together, and the fact that you have such a nice foundation on your face just makes everything else look really nice. So that's one of the foundations that I have loved this year. And I think Pat McGrath only offers one foundation so far. I think she doesn't have any more foundations in her collection, but I think this one released a couple of years ago. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely not a 2021 release. It is an old release, but I got my hands on this in 2021 and I have loved it. I don't know why I was sleeping on this, but it's a great foundation. I think Pat McGrath Labs actually ships to India. You can just go to their site and purchase it, and you can pay customs when the products arrive here. So yeah, that's that. On to the next category of concealers. So I just wanted to say that I don't think I have a favorite for this year. Something that I have loved, that I would say that, oh my god, this concealer is bomb, or this is the thing. I have used a bunch of concealers. I think for the first time I used the Hourglass concealer. I've used the Pat McGrath concealer, which I love, and I've used the Fenty Beauty concealer, which is pretty old, but I used it in 2021. I also used the e.l.f. concealer, and there was another concealer that I used, remember it, but I love all of them. All of them are great. They serve the purpose. Among all of them, I think Pat McGrath is one of my favorites. But my all-time favorites still remain NARS. I don't think anything that I've used this year really come close to my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers. I have absolutely loved them. I have spoken about them on my channel so many times, and I use them in two shades, one in caramel and one amande. Love, love, love them. They are so gorgeous, super creamy, super nice, high coverage concealer. So easy to use. I think for me, using a concealer should be easy, because it can be very tricky, like especially under your eyes. If something is a little too ashy, too thick, it can easily become difficult to use. So for me, the ease of using a concealer is very important, and NARS does that really well. I actually purchased their soft matte concealer as well, but I never really got a chance to use it, especially on my channel, because I bought a really warm shade and I've heard like great reviews about it. Maybe I'll just use that in, you know, a full face of NARS or something, but I've heard great reviews about that as well. But maybe if I used it, it would have been my favorite this year, but I haven't. So I have it, but I didn't use it. So yeah, so no best concealers. I think the one that comes really close to the NARS ones among whatever I've used this year is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish concealer. Love it. You guys have seen me use that concealer. So yeah, no concealers for now. I think the same goes for powders as well. I do not have a favorite this year, because I have used the Hourglass powder, love it. I have used the Pat McGrath powder, love it. I've used the Laura Mercier powder, but I think the only thing that I don't like is that I got this in a medium deep shade. I feel like I can't use this under my eyes, so I don't really love it. I mean, it's okay to set my face and all, it's a great powder, but it's not the best. It's not like, oh my god, wow, I'm so amused by it. But it comes really close to my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish powder. I love it. It's the best powder I've ever used, and I would recommend it to everyone, especially people with dry skin. I think it gives you a lot of coverage, and it just sets your concealer in place, and it just looks so gorgeous on your face. Especially, I love it. For the price, I think I used it so much, and I still have so much product left. I think it's definitely worth your money. And I think I bought the Flawless Finish last year, but it has been my favorite this year as well. So yeah, it is available on Nykaa. You can go check it out. The next thing that I have, you could put this in any category, maybe a primer or a base or a highlighter actually, but I have been loving this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I love this product. Initially, I think this is one of the recent products that I bought from Charlotte Tilbury. I never really bought it in the first instance where I was introduced to this because I heard a lot of people rave about it, but you know, I was not immediately like compelled to like buy it, but because I felt like it was like a glorified strobe cream. But it's not just that, it is actually a flawless filter. It gives you that flawless finish, and it works with any foundation that you use actually. So I mostly use it, if you guys have seen my videos, I mostly use it on, you know, like the high points of my face and the rest of my face as well. Wherever I don't usually powder my face, I use this, and it gives me that instant glow, and it helps my foundation blend better and glide on my face better, I feel. So it's a very nice product to use, to have in your collection, especially when you, especially for winters. I think when you need that glowy you know, finish to your face for a festive look or for like an evening look, I think it works really really well. And for people who have like non-problematic skin, I think this works as a good base as well, just for that little sheer coverage or like a sheen to your face. I think this works really well. This is, I use this in the shade 6.5 Deep Fonce, and you get a lot of product in this. You get 30 ml. It's usually as much as any foundation that you get, but then you end up using very less product. No, you don't use it as much as a foundation, right? So it really lasts a long time. So yeah, this is available on Nykaa. I will link the product down below. So that has been one of my favorite products in 2021. Moving on, I'm going to finish off all the face products and then move on to the eye product. For bronzers this year, I have fallen in love with this brand. This is Vieve by Jamie Genevieve, and this product is one of my favorites after my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Airbrush bronzer. And this is so good. It's a bronzing duo. Like you can see, I have no idea, like the thought process behind this palette is just beyond me, because both of them are powders and the finish is so good. I mean, and I think the both of their finish almost reminds me of the Flawless Finish powder. Actually, it is so fine and so nice. But you know, just when you want that extra sculpted look, you can go in for this shade. And when you want like a very subtle bronzy look, you can go in for this shade. This one is a little bit more cool toned. This one is like a neutral tone. None of them are like warm. They are pretty cool tone bronzers, and I absolutely love it. And this tinge of reddishness, I don't think the camera is getting it, but it kind of has that warmth to it a little bit, although it's like pretty neutral. Love it. I use it in the shade Deep. Yeah, I think Deep. And within Deep, it's called Deep 1 and Deep 2. And I use a mixture of both usually whenever I do this. And I absolutely love the packaging. I love the brand's aesthetic. The black and gold just has my heart. And this one looks a lot like the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick, I think it's called. Yeah, very luxurious. And I think most of her packaging prior to this used to be like a cardboard packaging, but this is the one with metal, and I love that metal click. Love it. So that is my favorite bronzer for this year. The next thing that I have is also a bronzer, but hear me out. I'll tell you why I love this. This is the Patrick Ta bronzing duo as well. It's called She's Chiseled. Now the reason I love this, and as I love the Vieve bronzer as well, is because it's kind of a different bronzer than the Vieve one. The one from Vieve is like a proper matte bronzer. It's got a very nice matte finish to it. But hear me out and see what this is like. This is like a cream and powder duo, and you know, it has this little opening here just like his blush, and his blush is my next favorite product. So this one is like a very nice cool toned bronzer that you can use, and you can top this off with this. And you guys know how I love doing that. Like, I use the Fenty Beauty Fenty Beauty matte sticks first, and then I use a bronzer on top of it. And the Fenty Beauty matte sticks are always a little cool tone, and then I use a warm bronzer on this. This is exactly that duo. And the best part about this is that this powder here, I don't know if you can see it, yeah, it's got very very tiny shimmer particles in it, and I think it gives you that really nice glow. And I think this is a very nice summertime bronzer, and I love it. And I think my cousin lives in the US, and you know, I gifted this to her for her birthday because this is like such a beautiful product that people should try out. I love it, and I think Patrick Ta should be awarded like the best packaging kind of. If there's an award for best packaging, I think it should be Patrick Ta's line. Love it. And I have a couple of other products from him that I have loved. I love this bronzer. So yeah, that's the second bronzer that I have loved this year. I think this one released this year, and gorgeous. That I have loved using this year is a blush, and I think I mentioned that I'm not such a blush lover, but things have changed this year, and I have loved using some really nice blushes on my face. And I feel like blushes really define your face, and you know, without a blush your face looks really not complete. So my favorite blush for this year has been the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush, and this is in the shade At Night. It's such a nice brick finish blush, and it's such a nice brick red. I love it. I think I spent a bomb on this, but it's worth every penny, literally, because it's got a very nice sheen to it. If you use this, you don't need a highlighter, because it's not a highlighter, but then it gives you that shine where if you look straight into my face, you'll see the blush, but if I turn around, you will see that I have sheen. And I think I used this today. I don't know, I have to go back and look at my video, I'm not sure. I think I did use this today, and I love it. I think this was one of my all-time favorite blushes. I don't think this one released in 2021. It released quite some time back, but you know, I used to always have a problem with Hourglass and how inclusive they are in terms of, you know, shade ranges and all of that. Their shade ranges in the foundations are great. Some of their other releases are pretty problematic, but they recently, I think this year during this holiday season, they launched the new palette for dark skin, the Ambient Lighting Highlighter palette, and I actually bought it. It has to arrive soon. So yeah, finally I'm like, okay, at least they're making an effort. So yeah, that's the blush that I have loved this year. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade At Night. This is probably the only drugstore product that I have on my list, but I cannot like not mention this. But if you guys have seen my most searched makeup video, I don't know if this video is going to go up or that, but I will link it up here whenever it does. But I actually didn't even know this product existed, but when I started searching for, you know, most searched products, and I saw this Xxcess blush, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, that looks really nice. This is the Makeup Revolution or Xxcess Revolution, I think. I don't know what's the difference between these two brands. Maybe they're sister concerns or something. I always keep getting confused, but it is the Xxcess Revolution Quirk. The Xxcess blush, and I have this in the shade Quirk. How stunning does this look? And the packaging is just so high end, and it is so gorgeous. Now honestly, this one retails for 950 bucks, and I was going to buy this only for that video, so I did not buy it. I was like, I'm not spending 950 bucks on a blush which I don't even know like what it's going to perform like, because I've never used anything from Xxcess Revolution. But then on Myntra Beauty, if you go to Myntra Beauty, they have a lot of offers that you will not find on Nykaa. So I bought this on Myntra Beauty for like 50% off, I think. I bought this for like 450 rupees. But this is one of the best blushes I've ever used. Love. It's got a very nice sheen, just like the Hourglass one. and I can't believe that something like this retails in the drugstore. You should definitely check it out. One of the best blushes. I will link it down. Before I move on to the eye products, I wanted to mention the lip tinted hue sticks that I used this year. The reason I got to use them was because she launched them on Cult Beauty and I could get my hands on them and get them shipped to India. I used this in the shade Balance to color correct, and I used the shade Found as a blush. And I mean, these products have been around for a while and I got my hands on them only in 2021, but they are a brown girl's best friend because I feel like the consistency of these sticks, I mean, it's not so thick, like, although it's a cream stick, when you put it on your face to color correct, it doesn't create a thick layer of product on you. It just evens out your skin and that's it. You don't feel like there is any product. And I absolutely love the fact that they're completely fragrance free. So if you just want to color correct and that's it, you're good. You can do it because you don't feel like there's anything on your face. It doesn't turn your face like orangey or anything. Huge shout out to Deepika for how far she has come. Love it. It's the best product. It's one of the best color correctors I've used in 2021. Lip tinted hue stick in the shade Balance. On to the eyes, before I go on to the eyeshadow palettes, I have one more product that I want to talk about. That is for my brows. I have only been using the Huda Beauty Balm brows. I guess before this I used to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which is also pretty great. But this one is a great replacement, or even better actually. I love this product. I use this in the shade Soft Black and it only retails for 1500 rupees, which I think is a great price because the Anastasia Beverly Hills one retails for around 2800 rupees and then you have to buy it on a discount and all of that. I bought this for full price when they first launched because I wanted to make that video about new launches in Nykaa, but I think you can get this on a discount as well. It is so slim and nice and so lightweight, so it just makes it so easy to use. Like is that the spoolie is so firm, you can never go wrong with it. I mean, of course you can't go wrong with a spoolie, but it just makes it so much more easier to use. And even the fiber, right, it's like so nice and strong, where it actually like kind of shapes your brows really well. If you use a normal spoolie from any other brushes or the ones that I've used before, even the one from Morphe, I mean, it's not strong enough where it can brush through your brow hairs much. So I love how tiny this pencil is, so you can just create like small strokes and not have those block eyebrows. Love it. I would definitely recommend you investing in this. Best products I have used in 2021, and I think this launched, like Huda Beauty officially launched it earlier, but in India they launched in 2021. The product that I have loved is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Spray. I know I got this recently, but I have been literally using this every time I wear makeup and I'm only done with so much. I thought, okay, this is like a small bottle and I'm gonna be done with this pretty quick, but I was wrong. I have been using this. I mean, I must have gotten at least like 20 sprays out of this by now, and I'm done with only that much, so it's gonna last me another 100 at least, I guess. I hope so because I love this. It's such a nice product. You guys know how much I love the Fenty Beauty Water Dew Mist, and this one is not a dewy mist, it's just a spray that sets your makeup. And I feel like if you have any harsh edges around your bronzer, your blush or anything, I think this one kind of fixes that really well because it melts all your makeup into each other, and it just makes it look nice and flawless, like just why it's called Flawless Setting Spray. Party all night, stay all day. Yeah, love it. And I feel like from the time I've started using this makeup, I feel like my makeup's not transferring much, especially onto my masks, so love it. I got this one in the travel size and I think this is about 34 ml and it retails for about 1500 rupees. It is available on Nykaa. Moving on, the last face product that I have is a highlighter, and this is a very old highlighter, but I finally got my hands on this in 2021. It is the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter, and this is what it looks like. Isn't it gorgeous? It's such a nice compact, and you know, I love this packaging and the shade and everything. It's just beautiful. Best highlighter I've ever used. Now when you just look at this pan, right, when you just look at the pan, it feels like it's a little bit crumbly, and it's going to crumble on your face, and it's a little too thick or anything, but when you apply it, it's so soft and so buttery. It's one of the best highlighters I've ever used. And I, like I mentioned before, I love this mirror. I've seen a lot of people using this mirror. I think that's just a mirror compact, but you know, doing their makeup, especially Andrea Lee and Katie Jane Hughes. I understand why, because you can literally see your whole face and yeah, create like flawless makeup looks. Best highlighter I've used in 2021, the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb Cognac Candy. Okay, that's all for all the face products. Now I have some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes or palettes that I have used in 2021. I think these released in 2021, and you guys must have seen these in my previous videos as well, but my first favorite is the Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar palette. You guys know I have done this video on my channel, and it is probably the best Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette I've ever used, and it looks so nice. And I think this line was one of her best lines, the wild ones, the Wild Jaguar, Wild Tiger, all of them. But this one was my favorite, and I just could not get this. I love the shades, the black. This shimmer is just the best. And yeah, this is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I'm really glad I bought this. And again, like I mentioned before in my previous video as well, I think Huda Beauty has really nailed her eyeshadow palette placements. In terms of the size, in terms of the palette size, in terms of the pan size. Like sometimes, you know, those long pans can get really annoying, and you know, any other shape can get really annoying. This one works really well with any brush, actually, whatever big brush, fluffy brush that you want to put into it. Works really well. The colors don't bleed into each other because there's enough like space to, you know, use your brush inside it. And yeah, and like I mentioned, I love this plastic packaging on Huda, and I don't know if you've noticed that all of my Huda Beauty palettes are from the time she changed her packaging to the plastic ones, because I really do not like the cardboard packaging. I know it's like more environment friendly and all of that, but somehow they feel a little cheap to me, especially those old emerald obsessions or purple obsessions and all of that. Love this one of the best palettes I've ever used, or by far most favorite Huda Beauty palette. I have actually ordered the Rose Quartz palette, which I don't have with me right now. I mean, it was a 2021 release. I have ordered it, but I don't have it with me yet. It's going to arrive, but by the time I have it, it's going to be 2022. So I've heard a lot of reviews about that as well, that it's great, but I haven't used it, so it did not make it to this video. Moving on, I have two palettes. One is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. I think this palette released worldwide this year, and it is so gorgeous. I think there was a lot of, you know, lot of controversy about how this palette looks, because the mini retro had like a very nice olivey green shade in it, and people wanted more greens in this. I guess if it was not called the retro palette, people would have just happily accepted it, but since it was called retro midi palette, I think people were a little upset. But if you look at the palette just on its own, I think it's a great palette. I think this was the shade that made me buy it. It is such a gorgeous mauve, or like a gorgeous deep plum. I love it. I like the hint of grays in this, and I personally am like such a sucker for pink and gray combination, and I think this palette really speaks to me. And this one is available on Sephora's now. I actually bought it from Nashwa Beauty before it launched in India, and Then I saw that they were going to launch in India, and such a gorgeous palette. The next palette I have is also from Natasha Denona. I think this one launched in 2020, and it is such an iconic palette. This is what it looks like. This one came broken. I bought this one Cult Beauty, and this one came a little broken, but I fixed it and it's fine. This is every cool tone makeup lover's dream. I mean, it's so gorgeous. I think there was some controversy about this as well, where she's named her shades saying lash line blend, outer eyelid, inner corner, crease, and transition, and all of that. You could literally just finish a look with whatever it says, but you could also use any shade for anything. Just do you. I think a lot of makeup artists had like a weird moment with that, saying that, especially when you have to make videos with this, I think people had trouble saying that, oh, okay, so I'm gonna take this shade called inner corner and place it on my lid. Okay, I think that was one of the reasons why people were upset with the naming convention of the shades. But otherwise, the palette in itself is so gorgeous. You could just like say, I'm taking this gray shade, this brown shade, or what, I'm taking this gold, everything. And I think this shade kind of stands out. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little peachy, little warm compared to all of the shades, and I think it adds that dimension to the palette. Love, love, love it. This one also is available on this palette is also available on Sephora's now. It released in 2020, but I bought it in 2021. I got it on Cult Beauty on a sale, but it is now available in India. I will link it down below. Moving on, for 3 palettes, I have one palette, and that is the Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. This is a dream for every person who's a sucker for warm neutrals. The other one was like cool neutrals, and this is like a warm neutrals palette. I, for one, just love these 2 shades. I could just use this shade and just dab on some shimmer, and you've got like such a sophisticated look done. You don't have to do anything else. The reason being that these shades, so when I say sophisticated, right, you could be using anything, and you could just create a look with any eyeshadow and just use it as a transition shade and add some shimmer. But the difference is that these shades, or even the Natasha Denona palettes, are so creamy that over time they don't look patchy on your eyes. That is what makes them special, and I think Patrick Ta has like really nailed this formula. Especially the mattes are so creamy. This one has a little bit of fallout, the others are pretty good. I don't know why this one is a little, I don't know, maybe it's the brushes that I'm using in this pan, but this one has a little fallout compared to the others. But the shades are so creamy. They come really close to the Natasha Denona mattes. So satiny in finish, but yeah, love it. Even the shimmers, right? They look so stunning. They look so stunning and they perform so stunning. The best packaging award, I think, should go to Patrick Ta, because he's got these 2 creams, and I love how Patrick Ta and Hindash actually talk about layering creams with powders, and that's something that I've learned from them, and I absolutely adore it, because I love the finish of that layering of cream to powder. I think it gives it so much of dimension, so much of depth. So yeah, you can just pop this and close, and that's it. It's gorgeous. And that's it. Those are all the palettes that I wanted to talk about. Now, I have also loved the Patrick Ta blush, but this blush released in 2021. I absolutely love it. But I was this close to like purchasing the Patrick Ta blush palette, but I just did not, because it never went on sale throughout this year, and I just didn't have the heart to spend like to pay full amount for the palette. I was like hoping that at some point it would go on sale and I would buy it this year, but I just couldn't. So maybe next year I will buy it. But I think that is one of the best products, I'm sure, because I've already used the product, the blushes, and those 3 shades or the 6 shades that are in that palette are different from what I've used. But I'm already a fan of the formula, but I think I would have loved that palette. Hopefully I will buy it someday. So those are all the makeup products that I have loved this year, and I'm sure a lot of people will vouch by these products, especially especially the Huda Beauty palette as well as the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. But I wanted to do more things that I got my hands on this year that I have loved. I don't know. This is the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro number 5 brush. I actually got this on the recommendation of Akanksha Kumreli. I think I've spoken about her before on my channel as well. It is the best blending brush I've ever used. It is so fluffy and so nice. And you know, I always use it to like use as a transition and all of that. Love it. You can find this on Beauty Bay. I think you can get this on Beauty Bay. I actually bought it on Beauty Bay, so yeah. That you guys know how much I love the Smashbox brushes, but I wanted to give a special mention to these two brushes. They're kind of dirty because I used them today. They are the Smashbox blurring foundation brush. Love it. It works with every foundation that I've ever used, and it just gives me that flawless finish with any foundation that I've used, and I feel like it contributes to the performance of a foundation. The blurring foundation brush, love it. I do like the full coverage foundation brush as well, but you know, it's not my go-to look. And the cream cheek brush, this one literally changed my entire contouring game. It is so perfect in size and so well shaped that, you know, when I use my contour, it works really well. When I use a cream blush, it works really well. Love it. I love both of these brushes, and I think this can also be used for your cream blushes. I think these two deserved a mention this year. And Smashbox brushes have been around for a while. These are the two brushes that I bought in 2021 and I've absolutely loved them. So yeah, okay, so those are my top favorites of 2021. I hope this video was helpful, and if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in another video pretty soon. Bye.